Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video today, I am going to be discussing the top 5 traits that my most successful students all have in common, because I'm sure we all know a lot of people can learn something new or learn a new skill or try a new career, but there's always going to be people that dominate, the people that do really well in the space. And from working with a lot of women now and kind of understanding what really creates a top performer, including obviously being in the sales industry myself, I have come up with the top 5 traits that hopefully you can learn from and also embody if you want to be good at sales. So let's get into it. Number 1 is they execute immediately. They don't need plenty of time to think about it. They don't need to go away. They don't need to ask every man and their dog. They just do it. So if there's an opportunity that comes up, they apply. They apply straight away. If there is an interview that they need to do, they drop everything and they do it. Because moving with speed is the biggest factor of success in this industry, and it is super important. So that would be, without that, there is so much opportunity to fail and so much opportunity for loss. You can miss out on some of the biggest offers and opportunities in your career by just not moving quick enough. Number 2 is they show up and they ask questions. They don't have an ego. They're ready to learn. They want to improve their skill set, because within sales, you can learn so much constantly. The learning doesn't stop. It's not like you get a job and then you don't need a mentor anymore, or you don't need sales training anymore. That's when the learning really begins. And I see this with a lot of my students, especially the ones who are the most successful, is they keep on asking questions. They always want to be better. They always want to develop. And without that, you can become very stagnant. So it's super important to kind of push your ego aside and to actually keep on learning, keep on pushing yourself to develop, because that's how you increase your income, you make more money, and ultimately become just a more well-rounded sales rep. Number 3 is they don't wait to feel ready. They do it anyway, especially when you have fear or you're trying something new, it feels scary for the first time. I get it, we've all been there. But the ability to push forward and not feel insecure that, you're not qualified enough, or you're not ready enough, or, you're not right for the position or for the opportunity. The trait that I see in my most successful students is they just do it anyway. Like, for example, Ananya, when she joined my program, she had no closing experience. She was nervous to become a closer, and in her first 2 weeks, she made 9K from closing, which is insane. That's not because she waited until she was ready or she put it off. The opportunity came up, she interviewed, she went for it, she did it, and the result off the back of that was incredible. And I have so many other stories like that with Haley, with Shabil, with Michelle, with Karuna. Like, all these women are stepping up and they're facing the fear and they're doing it anyway. The next is they work very hard. And this goes without saying, right? Do not get into sales if you don't have a work ethic, because nothing good comes easy. And if you want to get into sales to make the quick income and work from the beach, it doesn't work. And for all the girls in my program, well, all of them really, whether they have hit their income goals or not, I see that trait across the board is they're not afraid of hard work. They don't shy away from it. They welcome it. And if you don't have that quality, I would really urge to reflect and work on improving it, really, and understanding what is your why, what is driving you, which is going to allow you to put in the hard work to see the result. Because if you want the 10K a month overnight, even if you got it, even if it was handed to you, it's never going to feel the same. It's never going to, motivate you, I guess, as much as it would if you really did work for it. If you showed up, if you did the hours, if you did the core reviews, the role plays, if you invested in your training, that is when it feels good. That is when it feels like a true accomplishment, because it really is. Last but not least, My students ask for what they want because they know they deserve it. And it doesn't matter, this ties back into a previous point. It doesn't matter if they feel like they're ready or not. They ask for what they want. I'll give you an example. Haley, one of my students, she's actually one of my case studies on my YouTube channel. She worked really hard as a setter. She did everything she needed to do and she became a top performer. They needed a closer in the closing department, and they weren't sourcing internally. They were actually hiring externally. Haley and I had a conversation and it just made sense for her to go in and ask for it. Even though she might not have felt ready, it didn't matter. So she asked for it, she became a closer, and she's now top performer in the closing department. This is in the space of like a month or 6 weeks. And that is insane. And that is because she asked for it, even though she didn't feel ready, even though it felt like a big step, even though she didn't get asked if she wanted to be, she went out and carved that path for herself. And that is one of the main traits I see amongst all the women in my program who really have achieved their dream income and who are building their dream life. It's because they're not waiting for permission. They're going out and they're demanding what they want. And ultimately, they always get it. And that is it, guys. That is my top 5 traits of what I believe are really like the key characteristics and behaviors of my top students. I'm sure there are plenty more, but that's really what comes to mind when I see the women in my program move with speed, have resilience, show up week in, week out with that undeniable work ethic. As always, if you are a woman looking to get into sales, or if you're already in sales and you want to take your career to the next level, I will leave a link in my bio. You can book a call with myself personally. We can discuss your goals, see if a partnership makes sense, and take it from there. Bye, guys.